Hey there, everybody. Good afternoon, or evening, or morning, or whatever time of day it is. We have some datamine stuff to go over. Isn't that exciting? So we're going to be covering the datamine, mainly the stats of the rulers of the Laguz, and then we're also going to be looking at Naesala. So, if you don't want those ruined, this is your obligatory spoiler warning. We are going to be covering Naesala last, so if you want to wait, that's cool. But I'm also going to skim through the datamine information as well, just to see if we missed anything, and I'll save that for last. But we're going to start off with Rulers of the Laguz, and we are kicking that off in 3, 2, 1. That's it. We have Tibarn! Tibarn! I'm so excited. Definitely the unit I'm most excited for, just personal preference. Plus, his sturdy impact is kind of insane. So, quick refresher. We have Hawk King Claw, which grants attack +3, and if foe's HP is equal to 100, and if unit initiates combat, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. At the start of the turn, if unit is adjacent to only beast or dragon allies, or if unit is not adjacent to an ally, unit transforms, otherwise unit reverts. And that's true of all of the beast weapons. So he's pretty much just got the guaranteed follow-up attack, and then the attack +3, which is very nice. He also comes with Draconic Aura. He's got Sturdy Impact, which is the new skill, and it's so strong. If unit initiates combat, grants attack +6 and defense +10 during combat, and foe cannot make a follow-up attack. Yowza. So, partnered with his weapon, he can actually make a guaranteed follow-up attack if his HP is full. And if you initiate combat, like you have to with the weapon skill, your opponent can't make a follow-up attack. So, yeah. That said, speed, not so much all that important. Just because, you know, he's got basically like a fire sweep type ability, as well as you know, the follow-up attack. So he's going to be doubling pretty much no matter what, as long as he's at full HP, and he's not going to be able to take any follow-up attacks. So that's really nice. We've got Chill Attack, which is interesting, and then Even Attack Wave. So as you might surmise from all of these skills, he's very focused on offense, which is awesome. So looking at his stats now, remember he's a flyer, obviously. He's a red flyer specifically, and his HP is 41, attack is 38, speed is 31, defense is 34, and res is 18. Res, you're probably not so much concerned about. He can't make distant attacks, so you know, pending any dragons, you're really not too concerned there. Defense is really high, which is really nice. With that Sturdy Impact, he's getting defense +10, so he's at 44, just neutral. And then the attack, the attack is bonkers, dude. So he's got 38 already, right? Hawk King Claw gives him +3, so now he's at 41. And the actual offense of the weapon is 14. So at neutral, quick maths, he's at 55. And then with Sturdy Impact, he gets +6. So he's at 61. That's insane. That is actually insane. He is just, he's everything I wanted. Tibarn is everything I wanted. The offensive pressure is so there, and it's very exciting. But we do have other units to go for. Real quick, probably res or speed. That's what you're not really too concerned with. I'd keep HP, just because with the defense that he has, it's really puts on a lot of pressure. But next up, we have my second favorite unit from this banner, and that is Leanne. So Leanne comes with Heron Wing, grants speed +3, and at the start of turn, restores 7 HP to allies within 2 spaces of unit. And then, of course, it has the traditional, it's the beast transform specifications. Which, by the way, I forgot to mention. Does that happen with Tibarn too? Yeah. So if unit transforms, it gets an extra +2 attack. So 63, I think. Quick math. Yeah, he is such a powerhouse. Anyway, forgot to mention that. Anyway, so Heron Wing, really good. Obviously, she is a singer, and she has kind of a restorative HP quality here. She's got Mirror Stance 2, Flyer Formation, which is always really nice to have, and then Honed Beasts. So at the start of turn, grants attack speed +6 to adjacent beast allies for 1 turn. Which is really nice. Obviously, if you're going to put her on Beast Emblem, which you can technically do now, you're going to get a lot of buffs from that. You're going to be able to restore a lot of allies, and if you just so happen to put her on a flyer team, which she's more than capable of being on as a support unit, she can move to a space adjacent to a flying ally within 2 spaces, which is always really nice to have. And you don't really have to sack any flyer formation for that, which is awesome. So Leanne is colorless, by the way, if you didn't know. So she's technically, is she technically the, no, she's not, never mind. I was going to say, is she the first colorless singer-dancer? No, she's not. So she is flying, she's colorless. She's got HP of 36, attack of 27, which doesn't really matter all that much. Speed of 37, defense of 16, and res of 34. So defense doesn't really matter too much. As you can see from her skills, she's primarily focused on support, and she's kind of a res tank too, which is nice. So something like Iceberg, maybe, if you want to put that on her, that might come in handy with Mirror Stance and that, because 34 res is pretty decent, honestly. That's reasonably high for the most part. So she can be definitely very res tanky. She's not really going to get doubled with the speed boost, or the speed boost, the speed stat of 37. And, you know, her weapon does grant speed +3 as well. So, you know, neutral, she's already at 40, which is crazy high. For just a neutral stat, that's crazy high. So, for what it's worth, she looks to be a very good singer. She can fly, which is always really nice. And of course, you're going to get that buff of the extra movement, which is always really nice to have. So support units who can act like flyers but have movements of cavalry units are something that I don't think we were completely prepared for. But it should be good nevertheless. Maybe too good. We'll have to wait and see. Following up with that, we've actually got our boy Reyson over here. So Heron Wing, again, same weapon as Leanne. Won't re-harbor that. I feel like he might get demoted, strictly because everybody else comes with 3 skills, and he's missing that B skill for whatever reason. So Steady Posture, which is cool, grants speed defense +4 during combat. And then Fortified Beasts, which is kind of the other half of the coin to Leanne, which grants defense res +6 to adjacent beast allies. Now, if you look at the stats, you might think that he'd be more physically tanky and a little less in res, kind of mirroring Leanne a little bit, but she is a green flyer beast, by the way. He's got HP of 37, attack of 29, speed of 34, defense of 24, and res of 26. So definitely the most well-rounded. He can be very tanky. I think he can tank a decent amount of hits. Speed of 34 is still really good. It's not that it's not that neutral 40 that Leanne hits, but you know, Heron Wing does grant +3, so he's at 37 at neutral already. And then of course, you know, Steady Posture. If he's getting attacked, speed and defense are up by 4, so he'd be over 40 regardless. So he's not likely getting doubled in enemy phase anytime soon. And yeah, just looks really good, really solid. I don't really know if there's a necessary Bane to hit. Probably attack, I think. Again, with these support units, attack isn't really all that useful. Speed is nice because you avoid doubles. And obviously any other stat is nice because you can tank hits, and that's awesome. But the Herons aren't really focused on being all that offensive, so if you gotta take a hit somewhere, take a hit in the attack. Not that we ever really have any control over that, because we don't. Nayla. Hello, Nayla. It has been a while. She has Wolf Queen Fang, which accelerates special trigger, cooldown count -1. And you'll notice her beast weapon skill doesn't automatically grant a buff in any stat, unlike the other 3 that we just saw. During combat, boosts units' attack speed by number of allies within 2 spaces times 2, and that'd be why. Maximum bonus of +6 to each stat at the start of turn if unit is adjacent to dragons or allies, so all that applies, but she also deals +10 damage when special triggers. Now it's worth noting that the seasonal variants that don't use Dragonstones, like Halloween Naui and Summer Tiki, units like that, they don't qualify. They're technically mannequins, but they don't qualify because they don't actually have the Dragonstone. Just throwing that out there. Moonbow is always nice to have. Distant Counter. Please don't father Nayla for Distant Counter. Null Sea Disrupt. This is something that I talked about in the trailer reaction. It neutralizes status effects and disables skills that prevent counterattacks during combat. And along with Adrift Mailcorn, I think it was, there was another skill that had been datamined a while back that kind of fed this description, and I believe this is actually it. So, disable skills that prevent counterattacks during combat. We've also got Glare, which is dope. After combat, if unit attacked, inflicts status on target and foe within 1 space of target, restricting movement to 1 space throughout their next actions, which, you know, technically armor units don't really care too much about that, but a lot of other units would. So she's kind of, if you think about it, she's kind of like the anti-beast unit. Because they come with all these like movement buffs and things, and Nayla just has Glare that can kind of, you know, stop them in their tracks. So instead of having 3, they've only got the 1. Nayla is a blue unit, blue infantry unit, by the way. Not that that matters a whole lot, because if she transforms, she gets 3 units, or 3 space units. Actually, does Nayla? Does she get it? Transforms, unit, transform. I don't know that Nayla gets the extra movement buff. It doesn't say anything in the thing there. Let me see. Oop, wrong one. Hold on. Yeah, it doesn't. If unit transforms, unit can move 1 extra space. Start a turn if unit is adjacent to beast allies. Adjacent to any ally unit transforms. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about extra movement, so that's interesting. I overlooked that in the trailer the other night. So that's kind of interesting. Either way. So she's got HP of 40, attack of 31, speed of 37, defense of 32, and res of 23. So she's pretty tanky, honestly. I know 23 res doesn't seem like all that much, but, you know, it's not in the teens, which is always really nice, so she can probably take a hit. Defense of 32, obviously really good. Attack of 31. Now, if you recall, she does get a lot of attack and speed buffs because of her weapon skill, so don't discount her for that. But at neutral, she's going to be hitting 44, and that's before the buffs, obviously. So, Nayla, you know, obviously not the most forefront with offensive pressure, but she definitely has the potential because of Wolf Queen Fang. So if you want to keep allies close, which, you know, with things like the Heron skills that we saw with Fortify and Hone Beasts, you know, you might want to do that anyway. But other than that, Nayla looks really good. If you gotta take a Bane, maybe HP or Res. I don't really see her liking a defense Bane. But if you get enough, it doesn't really matter because the IVs thing has happened, which I don't think that took place in the update last night. At least it wasn't covered in the notes. So I'm not sure when the IV change is happening necessarily, but for what that's worth. All right, so are we ready? We have no more skill slides, obviously, because this last unit has not had a trailer reveal. So if you don't want Naesala spoiled, don't look at this next one. But there he is. Naesala. Let me take a look at the whatchahoos real quick, so we can get a look at his weapon. All the refines are really cool too, by the way. Just a heads up. Let me see. These are not what I want. Oh, here we go. So Raven King Beak grants it speed +3. If unit speed is greater than foe's speed, deals damage equal to 70% of the difference between stats. Maximum bonus of +7 damage. Combos with phantom speed. Whoa. At start of turn, if the unit is adjacent to only beast or dragon allies, or if unit is not adjacent to an ally, unit transforms, otherwise unit reverts. If unit transforms, unit can move 1 extra space. Doesn't stack, and if unit transforms, grants attack +2. So pretty typical, except speed is very important to Naesala. So deals damage equal to 70% of the difference between the speed stats, which is pretty cool. So the faster he is, the bigger the speed buff he gets, the more damage that he does, which seems really nice. Let me check the skills real quick. And alright, so it doesn't look like he's coming with anything new. The only new skills I see are Glare, Fortified Beasts, and Honed Beasts, Null Sea Disrupt, and Sturdy Impact, which we've already covered. So he doesn't look like he comes with anything, any new skills necessarily, but he is a free unit, which is always nice to have. He's going to be one of the upcoming, I want to say Grand Hero Battle, something like that, I believe. Anyway, stats: HP 39, attack of 32, speed of 38, defense of 24, and res of 29. So fairly well rounded. Kind of like Nayla a little bit. Probably a little closer to Reyson, I think, stat spread wise. But speed is obviously very important. And let me double check his weapon. I know I just covered it. But yeah, so he does get the +3 buff to speed. So he's already at 41 neutral with his weapon equipped, which is really nice. So if you want to boost any speeds, you know, your attacks are going to be doing a lot more, obviously. Very nice. Attack, what's our... I don't see the weapons. So I don't see the weapon skills attack strength. But it does grant +2, so we know he's at 34. It's probably 14, I would guess, is what his weapon skill is. So 34, 14, 48. Which isn't bad, honestly. You're almost hitting 50 before any buffs, obviously, and then of course, you know, the weapon itself is obviously meant to get buffed by the greater speed stat. So that's always really nice to have. He can probably take a hit. Res of 29 is really nice, and defense of 24 isn't bad either. And then, you know, HP, anything over 35 HP I think is pretty decent. So overall, looking very nice. Could be a very good free unit to get. So save those grails. That's it. I've talked for far too long already. There's some more in the datamine with some weapon refines and things like that. I know Julia finally got some love, so I'm excited to get her back in. She was one of my best units when I first started, almost forever ago. And yeah, so let me know who you guys are most excited for in the comments. I, of course, am most excited for Tibarn because I love Tibarn, and he was my favorite in the Radiant series, next to Ike, probably. But yeah, always thought he was cool. Glad he's in the game, busted as he might be. Doesn't matter, I don't care. Let me know who you guys are most excited for in the comments. Are you going to pull on this banner, most importantly? Remember, we do have the Forging Bonds events that's coming up, and we are going to be getting tickets from it. And I don't think you have to wait daily for it. I think you just collect them. So I think when I do my summon session, I'll probably just grind out Forging Bonds, get all the tickets I can, and then try and summon on the banner. We have had really long banners in the past, by the way. This is not a 30-day banner like the umpteenth number beforehand. This is only a 2-week banner. So if you want to get in on it, now would be the time to do so. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will catch you next time.